Welcome to This Week on the Bookish Diaries. Megan and I are delving into what makes a book cozy versus what makes it dark, and a few that we love and think you should read. So, whether you're reading a book that makes you feel safe, hopeful, and healing, that emphasizes community and comfort and offers emotional rest, or if you're more of a dangerous, raw, and revealing reader who likes to explore isolation and corruption, and you like emotional confrontation offered to you, you would love this topic because one is cozy and one is dark. I hate that. I'm so sorry. I thought I could ad lib it and I can't because that was trash.
I actually thought it sounded good.
Okay, well then we could just exit out of my little rant there at the end.
Yeah, I thought it was
Okay.
good though.
Megan, if you had to pick only reading cozy books versus only reading dark books, what would you choose?
Honestly, I think that I would go with dark books because I'm trying to think of a good reason. Or how to, I mean, I know a good reason. I'm just trying to think of how to word it.
Sure,
Um,
for sure.
but I think that dark could actually be cozy sometimes. So like the ending could end up being like, the whole book is tragic, but then it has a really good ending. So I think I would go with dark.
Nice. I would agree. Because, like you said, all, not all cozy books can be dark, but some dark books can be cozy.
Yes.
So
And
I feel like
that's
there's more of an overlap if you choose dark.
yes. And I feel like you could have both if you do choose dark. So that yeah, it would
One thing
always
that
be dark.
I do love about cozy books, though, is like that warm, like fuzzy feeling that you get when you read them. And it just kind of feels like your heart's going to explode with happiness and joy. And you're like maybe even crying tears of joy because it's just like you want to live in that world in that moment. It's, after the war, after the battle, everyone's sitting around and is in comfort and like shooting the shit with their friends. And it just feels so good. That's what I love about cozy.
I agree with that, but and I sound like I'm like advocating for dark books only. But if you think about it, like a lot of the stories that I've read that do maybe start off like tragic and very dark and a lot of bad things might have happened, by this, especially in series, right? By the second, third book, you start to get that warm, fuzzy feelings because, then like the female main character like finds love and find like the found family stuff that sometimes is in that stuff. So, in that stuff, and then, although usually they're plotting war, okay, I will say that. So, there are still dark aspects of it. But, like, when they find that love and that friendship with people, and, to me, it gives me those feelings still at the same
I
time.
totally agree. And the thing with like dark romantasy is I did not know this when I started reading romantasy or even romance. Romance means that it's supposed to have a happily ever after. That's like a rule of romance, which I did not know. And so technically all romantasies are kind of cozy if they all
Mhm.
have a happy ending. And so it's more just like, do you feel cozy throughout the book or do you feel stressed and then cozy?
Yeah, that's true. And like books like I should have taken these out. There's like books like horror, like Stephen King. Like those
Mhm.
don't usually have happy endings. Those are just tragic horror stories
Just scary,
and
just
dark
terrifying.
and yeah. So I guess we should clarify when we're talking about dark, the type of dark reads, which yeah would be the dark fantasy romance, which yeah. I never knew that they had to end on a happy ending. I mean, I know that all of the books that I read do. Well, I have read some or one really out there that was like no point of the book, but it was just dark and twisted and disgusting. But yeah, I didn't know that they had to have a happy ending. But I guess
And
that
to be
makes sense.
fair, I don't know if like the romance rule is just for like non-fantasy romance or if it qualifies for romantasy. Because like I said, it's new to me. But I was just like, oh, that's why they all. Because sometimes I'll read a dark romantasy and be like, it still ends well. Like it still ends happy. Whereas like I've read dark books, like dark fantasy books that do not end happy, like The Library at Mount Char. Like no good things happen. And so
No.
like that's kind of like where I go when I think of a dark book cuz like a dark romantasy, if even at the end of the series they're just like the world is saved.
Yeah.
Does that really qualify as dark? I don't know.
Maybe the first books, like, I don't know, the first books always start off like very, but then no, because even like second books, like if somebody, like, like one of the main characters gets like captured by somebody else, I have read some where they're like, tortured and, a lot of bad stuff happens to them, why they're captured. So to me, that would still qualify as dark, I guess. Um, but yeah, they do always
That's true.
actually end. But see, and if you say that you want to read dark and that's like your favorite, you do have like under that umbrella, like you could read horror, right? Where there's no happy endings and you just want dark,
Mhm.
or like Mount Char. And but then you also have the other genres where it starts off dark but ends on a happy note.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Are horror books supposed to have unhappy endings?
I
Like, is
don't
that a rule of horror? Because, like, it makes sense that it would.
I don't
But
know.
maybe
I've
I'm just,
had
like, giving too many rules away. Like, this has to have a rule and this has to have a rule.
I don't I don't know. I mean, I guess I've read horror books that have had semi-happy endings, I guess, but
That's
you
true. They,
know,
like, defeat the villain. Scooby Doo.
yeah, or like
Unmask
somebody
the.
escapes.
Yeah.
Even horror movies like Saw, Freddy Krueger, Jason, trying to
Never
remember
seen a one.
of what?
No idea how they end. Never seen a one.
A horror
Refuse to
movie?
watch. I've watched The
Oh
Ring, and that ended with the frickin' well thing still being open. So, like, the little girl can just come out and kill people, and that was my one and only horror movie because I don't fuck with that shit. I can read the books, but I cannot watch the movie. It, like, I can't sleep at night. I have to turn the lights on. It doesn't work well for me.
I guess maybe my brain. See, I like watched like my first horror film was probably Freddy Krueger, and that I was probably like 8 or 9, I think, watching it. So I don't know, they don't scare me. I mean, sometimes,
That's
don't get me
fair.
wrong, sometimes there's something that happens and I like jump and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Sure. But it
But
doesn't like it doesn't like stay in your head.
no. Do you know what used to the okay, we're getting off topic, guys, but one thing that did used to scare me though is I would watch the X-Files, and I would always watch it before bed, and thinking about all the stuff that happened, I was like, well, there really could be aliens, and that would freak me out because I knew that that could be potentially real. So I would get scared at night after watching the X-Files.
So, funny story about the X Files. We didn't grow up watching the X Files, but there was one weekend where my grandparents have a cabin, and my parents sent the four of us. I think, actually, I don't think my older brother was there. I think it was just the three of us to hang out with my grandparents at the cabin. And for some reason, they were like, let's watch the X Files movie. And so it's dark outside. My grandpa puts in the X Files movie, and I kid you not. At the point, like, There's something about to come out of this person's stomach. Like an alien is about to come out of this person's stomach. Throughout the movie, there have been these like black things that get under people's skin and go up their eyeballs. Something is about to burst from this person's stomach and the lights go out.
Oh
Now,
no.
this is not like a touristy cabin. This is not like an Airbnb deal. There's electricity, there's plumbing. That's it. There's not internet. The lights go out. There's like no one around in the mountains where we're at. I for sure thought we were goners.
Oh my God.
My sister and I slept together in a room with the light switch turned on so that way we would know when the power came back on.
Yeah.
We didn't even sleep. We just laid there in terror, waiting for the electricity to come back on. It was so scary. The electricity came back on. We did not get taken by aliens. Um, Everyone lived and survived the night. But yeah, so scary.
Yeah. No, the X-Files would freak me out, but I don't know. Horror movies never. I don't know. They never did, but.
That is interesting. All right, well, let's
Back
talk
to
about
books.
some cozy and dark books that we would recommend. Um, let's see. What do I want to start with? I'm gonna start with a kids book. Because this is one series that I have reread a number of times because it gives me all of the cozy vibes. I was not allowed to read Harry Potter growing up, for different reasons. But for some reason, I was able to read this. Makes no sense because magic is still exists. But it's called Fablehaven by Brandon Mole, and it follows a 9-year-old and 11-year-old as they found out that their grandparents are magic caretakers of magical creatures that you can only see if you drink a special cow's milk. And so they go from like one adventure to the next, and it just is always, I don't know, just all the warm fuzzies as the kids are growing and learning things and encountering things that they shouldn't be encountering as 11-year-olds, and like the choices that they're making and stuff. It just brings so much joy to my heart. So
Aww.
that is one for me. Have you guys read that? Have your kids read it?
I don't think so. I don't even know if I've heard of that one. I might
It's
have to
good.
read it. My son brought home a book about that I'm reading with him right now, and I can't think of what it's called, but he checked it out from the school library. It's about a shark attack in the like the early 1900s. So
What?
it's
Is it
gonna end
called
up being
Jaws? No, I'm just kidding.
no, no,
I guess it's
shoot, I
lately.
can't think of what it's called, but yeah, I've been reading that with him.
That's awesome.
So I'm guessing it's going to end up being tragic, but we will
Yeah, it sounds
see.
like it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Do you want to share one of your dark books?
yes, I will share. This one is by Juno Hart. It's called King of Storms and Feathers, and it's book one. Um, this is the
Nice.
special edition one that I got, but yeah, it starts off, the girl is, uh, I'm remembering it correctly, like at a market, and the like king like buys her and chains her to the wall in
Hmm.
his room.
Or, yep, that tracks. I remember that
Yeah,
being how it started. Yeah.
yeah. It's been a while since I've read it, so I was like trying to make sure. But yeah, it starts off pretty, pretty tragic, and but they end up,
Basically, like human trafficking, but in a fantasy novel, is how it
yeah,
starts off.
basically, yeah. Because it's like at a market where they're selling people, and the king like sees her and buys her. So yeah, definitely dark.
Nice. Oh man, a series that well, I guess they're not a series, but they're interconnected standalone novellas by E.F. Watson. There's Witch Fish and Vampoozled, and they're just little guys. But these are perfect for fall. One follows a young woman who has a coffee shop. Coffee shop? Maybe he has a coffee shop. Anyway, her neighbor where she works is unfriendly, and things happen, and it's a romantasy. So cozy, warm. And then this is a teacher, professor, student. So, so good. So good. He just happens to be a vampire, so it's even hotter. So cozy. Like who being in a college in fall and your professor's flirting with you, can you get cozier? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Those sound really good, actually.
They're so cute and they're just like so little, like easy reads. I think that maybe she's working on expanding them. She's
Yeah,
working on some. I don't know if it's this or if it's just like more series in this world, but
yeah. Okay, my next one. This is actually a non-fantasy. It's called Little Stranger by Lee Rivers. And this
scary
one
spider.
is trying to think of actually what makes this one dark. This one I know it's like advertised as being
There's a
like
spider on the cover. Instantly dark.
yeah, but that's only because okay, so it's kind of like stalker, like possessive stepbrother or like adopted, like they're
Yeah, I
brother
wonder
and
what
sister,
makes
but
it
they're not
dark.
related. They're both adopted by the same parents. So is that
Uh, that'd be
stepbrother?
step, yeah, because half is blood related.
Yeah. So yeah, they're step siblings basically, and the boy is like came from like a really bad situation in, you know, abuse and stuff like that. And he becomes like super obsessed and possessive over his little sister and does some messed up shit
Creepy.
messed up shit to people.
Seems dark.
Yeah. I don't want to give too much away of the story, but yeah.
Yeah, nice.
What's your next one?
Um, Probably I'm gonna go with The Apprentice to the Villain series by Hannah Nicole Mayhair. Mahair. Mayrare. I don't know. I don't know how to say her last name. These are adorable. Have you read these?
I haven't read them yet. I have them on my reading list though.
They're like the villain in it tries to be dark and like
Mm.
he's like beheading people, so there's like dark things going on, but it almost feels like it's Disney-fied, and so it's like, oh, the villain just dropped someone else's head off, oops. um and then like the assistant is like super cute and quirky, and so it's just like bad shit is going down, but she makes it digestible in this like cozy, fun kind of like, oh, I hope no one dies kind of way. Because like
Yeah.
that no one's gonna die. Well, at least you hope no one's gonna die. Um, and so it's fun, and I feel like each book really helps. I don't know, like each book you find out new things that help drive the story along, and because it's a series, it's hard because like the ending isn't technically cozy because it leaves on a cliffhanger, but you still have that like cozy vibe throughout.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. And it's an unfinished series, so who knows if the ending's cozy or not.
Mm. It sounds good. I know a
They're
lot of
fun.
people have talked about that series, and I still
And
need to
she's
read
great.
it.
I got to meet her at a con and she was so friendly and just, yeah, she's awesome. I really like her.
That's good. I love meeting authors.
Me
Um,
too. It's so fun.
okay. My next one is by Penelope Barsetti, and it's The Death King. And I think that there's 4 books in this series, and it does have dragons in
Pretty.
it.
I remember you telling me about this one a while ago.
So
It's so
I
cool.
really love this one. So it starts off, I don't want to give too much of it away, but it starts off where the female character, her parents are killed by the Death King. He's a necromancer and he rides a dragon, which I fell in love with that because I love
That's so cool.
necromancers. Like, and you don't see them represented in stories a whole lot, like at least in fantasy and stuff like that. So it was kind of nice having that. Um, but anyways, he kills her parents, and then she is like sent to like a slave camp, and a bunch of bad stuff happens to her and stuff like that, and then somehow she ends up back with the king, and that's all I'll say.
Interesting.
Um, so it does start off pretty dark. I would definitely suggest for people to read any of the trigger warnings, but the book is absolutely amazing. If you love dragons, you want to read something with a necromancer in it, it's good. Yeah, it's really good. One
That
of my
sounds
favorites.
awesome.
It's
I still need to read that one. I'm so sorry I haven't read it yet.
okay.
Um, okay. Next for me is a little series, The House in the Cerulean Sea and Somewhere Beyond the Sea by T.J. Klune. This book, The House in the Cerulean Sea, was one of the very first books I read. I read it on my phone because I didn't have a Kindle yet. I checked it out from the library. And it was one of the first books that I read that got me back into reading as an adult. It follows a like 40 something year old British man who kind of hates, he doesn't hate life. He's very, he goes to work, he goes home. He goes to work, he goes home. Like he has nothing to like really live for. And his job is to visit orphanages to make sure that the children are being taken care of, the orphanage people are doing their job. And he gets sent out to this house in the Cerulean Sea. And the orphans there, though, all have different powers, and they're not even like regular human children. Like one is a blob who really wants to be um, a hotel bellhop. He wants to
Yeah.
like help people get in and out of the elevator and stuff. And then one is Lucy, who may or may not be the son of the devil. And so it just follows him like getting to know these kids and understanding the world that they've created in this like safe haven. And like the children. I, I don't really like other people's children. These children are so great. um and like I don't know. They just warms your little heart the whole time. I
Oh.
cried in both books, like in random times throughout, just because like the kids share stories of not being loved and feeling love for the first time. Just all of it just melts your pea-picking little heart. They're so nice. They're so great.
Oh, that sounds really good.
It's a good one. I got to see the author in person too, and he gave an awesome talk. And yeah, it's a really cool series.
That sounds good. Um, okay, my next one is Wish by Sarah Flanagan. It's the first book, and I know if anybody has been listening to me and Kate both really love really love this book. If you can't tell already. Um,
Sorry, we keep talking about it.
yeah, and it is dark, but it's also like the girl that the main character. She is just she's badass. If you want a book that's like a little bit dark with female revenge and
Rage.
and rage, like this is like the book for you. Like this book is just like I love this book. I can't talk about this book enough. And it's crazy that I think that this is the author's like first book.
I think it's her debut. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
it's
pretty sure
so
it's her
good.
debut. And for it to be this well, I mean, I know that there's lots of authors that have amazing debuts, but this one is like so good. She's an indie author. Um, and it's just good. Yeah, it's good. And her ex, like if you want something where the ex is an asshole and the girl is taking revenge, like this is like my top book for that.
We're gonna have to do another episode on revenge reads
Yes, we should
because I
actually, we
love A
should.
Woman Scorned.
Yeah, it's so good and I can't recommend it. It is dark though, so definitely all of these that I'm recommending, definitely read um your trigger warnings. If you have triggers, definitely read them to uh make sure that it's going to be okay for you to read. But yeah,
Love it. Okay, do you have more, or is that your last?
that's my last one. Since you know what I was thinking, because since I shared a bunch of dark, and sorry, listeners, we're like deciding this on the fly, but maybe you should share a dark book, and I actually have a cozy book that I could grab
Perfect.
really quick to share a
Okay,
cozy read, so we could both do
sweet.
the opposite.
I love it. And
And
at
I
the
just
end, I have one that's a good combination of both to tie it
both.
all together. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, my dark read. Oh, oops.
No, I'm listening. I'm just grabbing my book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. My dark read, which actually echoes a lot of the same things that Megan shared about with Wish, is Slewfoot by Brahm. This is the reason that I started my Bookstagram, is because I had to tell people about this book. I also ruined this one because I watered a plant
Oh,
near it. I had repotted my plant and didn't realize there was a hole in the bottom of the pot, and then this was sitting next to it in the water. Anyway,
oh.
I know, so sad. Um, this tells the tale of a woman during Puritan times who lives alone, and the community around her believes her to be a witch simply because she doesn't fit into the community standards. So it's about that. And then it's about her just like all the revenge on all the Puritan men who wronged her because Puritan men uh, believed very interesting things about women. Um, and so, yeah, this was such a good, if you want to feel rage, if you want to feel, I don't know, what's the word, satisfied by an ending, check out this book. It's so good.
That one sounds good. So,
Okay, what's your
okay.
cozy?
The the title is going to be a little misleading, I think, on it, but so this is by one of my favorite authors, Stacey Marie Brown. And I think she rebranded her books as S. Marie now for her like non-fantasy stuff.
Okay,
But yeah, it's called How the Heart Breaks by S. Marie, which is
it's a
Stacey Marie
pretty
Brown.
cover.
It is. Um, I really love this. Yeah. I think this is like she's been redoing like all of her books and I bought this one. But so I will say that the book starts off tr very tragic and I probably books don't normally make me cry. I was bawling my eyes out in the first couple of chapters. Um, but then it gets like a lot better. And this does have a reverse age gap where the female is older than the guy. Um, so it kind of has that in it, but it definitely makes you, after you get past the beginning, makes you feel like all cozy and warm, and you're like, oh my gosh, I love it. And it's such, and there's like a twist in it that I don't want to say what the twist is to like give it away, but it's just really heartwarming and I liked it a lot. So don't
That's
let it, it
awesome.
is cozy, but so don't let the story, I mean, it will break, the book will break your heart in the beginning, but it's
But
good.
it'll stitch it back up by the
It
end.
does. It your heart gets stitched back together and you're just like, "Oh my gosh." Anyway.
So the last book slash series that I wanted to bring up is one that we have had the author on the pod before in the past, which is cool. And I've read the series. I have not read the third book in the series, so I don't know. But I would say that this series started off more as cozy and is leaning towards dark. And that would be Darkness Comes Again by K.M. Davidson.
I agree
Thoughts?
with that. I agree with that. I think the first book definitely was like a little bit more cozy, and it starts to get darker throughout the series and add more of those elements in it. So I definitely agree with that. But
Yeah,
Darkness Comes
because I
Again.
feel
Yeah.
like if you're in a library for like a good quarter to half of the book, automatically cozy
Oh yeah.
in my head. But that's just me. So
Nope, I agree. Um, is that all the books we have?
that is all for me.
I mean, I think like half of more, I'm trying to think, more than half of my books, these are probably like all dark. I don't think any of these are really cozy. Maybe they have cozy stuff in them, but my whole shelf is pretty much
I was the same way.
dark.
I was like, I think I have like 10 cozy books. Let me grab them. Because
I
I don't know, they're good to have on hand because after you read a traumatic story, you're like, I just need to heal.
yeah. And see, I think I'm drawn to books that have like tragic beginnings and that bring out that emotion in you, but then it like, like the book I was just talking about, it stitches back together towards the end, and then you have a happy ending and you get to see love and people reunited, and I don't know. I just like books that could bring out like the different that really make you feel stuff.
Yes. I think
And
that's generally why I put a book down, is because it's not making me feel anything.
that's why I do. If I'm not
I'm like,
feeling stuff, no.
if I can tell that it's still a Monday and I'm reading, I'm probably not going to finish the book.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And you know what I just realized for our listeners, and we kind of dived into it, and I know that you kind of briefly talked about it. We didn't even give like a short thing with why we think books are cozy
Oh,
versus dark,
yeah.
besides in the opening.
So
So sorry, guys, we just like
we
jumped
wanted to
into
give you
it.
the cream in the middle of the donut before we gave you the outside.
Yeah, I just
So,
realized
Megan,
that.
what makes a book dark and or cozy for you?
So for me, I guess it would explore like a book that explores like isolation, corruption, I don't know, and that could have like people in captivity. I'm trying to think. Just anything under that umbrella, I guess. And then um emotional confrontation, they're just dangerous, raw, just in anything that has like all of the negative, well, not negative, but like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I feel like for me, it's books that make me feel hopeless or like frustrated. Like sometimes I'll be reading and like my whole chest is just like, "Ugh." And that to me is a dark book. If it makes me feel like that, it's dark.
Yeah, like anger and like, yeah,
Or
sadness.
not being sure or feeling like I'm reading A Bride of Brutal Hearts right now by Kate Stevens. It's insane. It's so good. But the things that she faces makes me feel so uncomfortable. I'm like so like I want to reach through and like help her because I just like I don't like these like I don't know like she has she's a woman and he's a vampire and he's you know like telling her what to do and it's like you know what buddy actually but she can't because she's just a little human but like that like tension that I feel with my insides, yeah, is what to me makes me feel like a book is dark. Like I know that there's what actually makes a book dark, but then those are kind of the feelings that I what's the word? Connotate as dark. Like any of those frustrate, like if I can feel it in my chest.
Yeah. And I think stuff can be dark for different people in different ways.
I
Um,
agree.
so for me, it has to have a mixture of like dark elements, but then also bring out like emotion where I'm like, I hate this bastard for what he's doing or what they're doing in just brings out, I guess, more of my rage side where I'm like, fuck that motherfucker. You
Yeah.
fucking you need to take his ass down.
Yeah. It was funny because I was talking to Connor and we have been listening to Vesselist together. And we also listened to Mistborn together. And so I asked him, like, what are you enjoying more? Like, what do you think like the differences are? And he said, well, Vessels is like very clearly darker. And we'd only read like the first three chapters. And I was like, really? Like, what do you mean by that? And he was like, well, I mean, this, this, and this, and this, and this. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that's pretty dark. Because, like, for me, like, I already knew the story. So, like, to me, it was just like Vessels. And then to him, it was like, oh, no, it was talking about a father abusing his daughter and like all of these like really terrible things that like as an avid reader, sometimes I'm just like, which is
Yeah,
terrible.
see, and that's the type of stuff that makes me love books is I remember messaging her about reading about that, about the father and having conversations with Courtney about that. Um, and that's like the rawness, I guess, that makes
Mhm.
yeah, and that is dark. I mean, having that in a book, it could be triggering for people to read that. I'm curious to know. I keep thinking in my head, I'm like, what else? What else did he say since he's a guy and he read it? We got to do an episode
I
about that
I
and
know.
have
We're
him
only
on
like
it.
halfway through. No, I know. I want to so bad. He said he'd be down too.
Did he? Oh my gosh, that
Yeah,
that would be a really fun episode.
I know. He's also one
Okay.
of our avid listeners, so he listens to every episode. Thanks, Connor.
Thanks. Yes, thank you, Connor.
All right, what
Um,
makes a book cozy for you?
so cozy is to me because cozy books can have dark elements in it, I feel like, but to me it's like something that makes me feel like warm and fuzzy inside and just makes like all of the stuff like feel good and you're just like it makes you happy and comforted and has a happy ending and I don't know, just makes you feel comfortable, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. And a big part for me is like, can I picture myself on a perfect fall day reading this book on a couch with a pumpkin spice latte and just having like the time of my life? Because if the answer is yes, then it kind of like automatically falls into the cozy.
Hmm.
Um, Whereas like dark books would also do that, but they won't give me that like warm feeling. And then you have some books like Lord of the Rings, for instance. I know that when we were talking about doing this episode, you Googled like, what are cozy books? And The Hobbit came up. And I was like, The Hobbit, but like I love Lord of the Ring. And just thinking about that, like, makes me feel cozy toward Lord of the Rings. Is Lord of the Rings cozy? No, not really. But because I grew up as like a child reading it and I have all of these memories associated with it of like ordering pizza and watching it for the whole day with my friends, like it gives me all those vibes. And so like I would say that it kind of falls in cozy for me. So it is kind of fun how like different readers would identify different series as cozy or not based on like their history with it as well.
Yeah, I agree with that because when I think of the whole Lord of the Rings stuff, it makes me feel cozy. Like I watched it with my kids, even now, which now it has that like memory with it of like watching that
Mm-hmm.
stuff with my kids and seeing them love it and then me loving it. Like I remember when the movies came out, like just rushing rushing to buy tickets, for the premiere of it and going with my friends and doing all of that. So those bu those books just hold a lot of memory. And I think
Yeah,
books that like even if they have darker themes in it, if they bring even just like warm memories to you, could be considered cozy.
I agree. I agree. Well, what do you all think? We would love to hear what makes a book cozy or dark for you and what some of your favorites are. Make
Yes.
sure to like, subscribe, and share. We would love to hear feedback from you guys, comments, anything you want to tell us, except that if it's rude, we don't want to hear it.
Yes. Yes, please, to all of that.
We will see you next week.
See you next week, guys.